Hello again. Our focus on the fate of the 39 Indians taken hostage by ISIS in Iraq's Mosul continues. They went missing in 2014. Their families have been waiting for any word for them ever since. The government says it has left no stone unturned to trace them. Unconfirmed reports say they could have been moved to other ISIS-held cities for bonded labor. Others say that they might have been shot dead. Within hours of the liberation of Iraq's second-largest city from the clutches of the Islamic State, India dispatched the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, General V.K. Singh, to Erbil. 3 days on, it seems the government still has no leads.
Erbil has been alerted. We have also requested the Iraqi authorities, and they have confirmed to us that they have sensitized their forces, their security agencies about the presence of Indians, and if they see any Indians, not just these 39 but any Indians, we have requested them to inform us, our ambassador or our consul general. We have also requested the Iraqi authorities to alert the airport, so that if just in case some Indians appear at the airport, so our embassy and our consulate should be informed.
And the only Indian channel tracking this story in Mosul is WION. My colleague Daniele Pagani visited the site where the Indian citizens were last seen. He's spoken to the people who last saw them. Here's a report he sent today on the challenges ahead of for the post-war Mosul and the search for these Indian hostages.
Our Consul General in Erbil has been alerted.
Mosul, once the de facto capital of the Islamic State in Iraq, stands now liberated. The city is not anymore in the grip of the Islamic State. But now it's time to come to terms with the grim reality. Hundreds of thousands of people abandoned their houses, running away from hammering airstrikes. Thousands of civilians lost their lives or are trapped underneath the rubble. In this humanitarian tragedy, there is also a little bit of India. In 2014, 39 Indian workers ended up in the Islamic State's hands. There is no news from them ever since.
I really feel bad this thing happened. What happened not only with Indians, there is so many friends also for me. They are staying in Mosul. They are so many times coming in bazaar. It's really bad thing happened. But that moment, I heard that 39 people, they are missing, they captured, arrested by the IS. And not only Indians, other nationality also, same like Turkish. And after a few days, I heard that they relieved. And after that, I didn't ask and I didn't watch the relief is finished. And that time, Indian consul also helping the people. Those people go. They like to go back to India, they can go and they collect the ticket and they go back. But that time we are not going, we are staying here because I'm staying with my family. If I go back to India, what I'll do? I have to work, I have to fight with daily life. So the life also, and finally I'm more comfortable because I know the language, same like the Kurdish people.
And that time when this happened, because the Islamic State also came very close to Erbil, there was a moment.
Yeah.
Do you remember that moment?
Yeah,
what do you remember?
I remember it's suddenly around 9:30, between 10 in morning, that time. Oh my God, all bazaar is become empty. No one is bazaar and I'm sitting in this shop. I'm sitting with my wife, and so my wife told me, okay, let's go home. Everybody is moving. My boss told me, Ratan, if something happened wrong, this is the address. You have to go to Shaklawa, and Shaklawa from we'll go Turkey or another place. We are waiting the television, watching the television, waiting for what is the new. It's near come to. It will take 45 minutes. Far from the Erbil, from Bazar to it's called Gomrik. The one is the place. They are coming close, and finally. It's very good news with Peshmerga. It's really helpful. They are brave soldier. They are helping and they are fighting with IS soldier and they free the Erbil.
So some of the Indian working in Mosul managed to escape before the Islamic State could capture them. They reached Erbil, a safe spot in war-torn Iraq.
Erbil is the capital city of the northern region of Kurdistan in Iraq, and this is where some of the Indian workers who were working in Mosul and building a stadium in Mosul and a complex of apartments managed, fortunately, to escape before the Islamic State reached and conquered the city. Unfortunately, 39 of them did not manage to escape, and the Islamic State abducted. They're missing since then. We can see here behind me some of the apartments where the Indians reached when they escaped Mosul, and these apartments are some of the apartments where still many belonging to the Indian community in Kurdistan do work and live.
Not all of them were so lucky. The 39 Indians still missing were last seen working to build the new stadium in the western part of Mosul. In the Bab al-Sinjar neighborhood, the stadium lies in the western battered part of the city. Indians still living in Erbil still remember that moment.
जो आप अभी पूछ रहे हो उसके बारे में हमने पहली बार सुना है कि 2014 में यानी जो मूसल में इंडियन आदमी जो मतलब आप बता रहे हो गायब हुए, उनके बारे में हमें पास कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं थी। और 2014 में हालांकि अभी फ़िलहाल यहाँ पे आया हूँ, मेरे को 3 साल हुआ है, इतना मेरे को नॉलेज भी नहीं था मूसल में क्या हुआ किधर क्या हुआ, आपने बताया। लेकिन सडनली बहुत अफसोस की बात है कि हमारे इंडियन के रहने वाले पीपल है जो अभी मूसल से गायब हो चुके हैं और अभी हमें पता चल रहा है, तो बहुत मतलब दुख की बात है सर।
Before we are afraid, now is the ISS is going lower than lower. Now is good to situation here. Before you get very afraid when is the ISS here. Now is good for Indians. We will missing for the 39 Indians. We not found anything about them. You don't know about them. What is their alive or this thing? In here government also not responding. Indian government is someone is coming. They are looking for this thing.
What do you think? Do you think these 39 Indian workers maybe are alive? What do you hope? What do you think?
I think so. This is not too possible. They are alive. If you allow, they will be contact them home or some other peoples, whoever they knows. Maybe I don't know about them. What is happens? It will be no whoever with them or whoever contact them. Them family are suffering for them. It's the very problem for them.
In 2014, India did not have a proper consulate in Erbil, but the Baghdad embassy set up an operation room to closely monitor the situation at the same time.
Behind me there is the Indian consulate in Erbil, the capital city of Iraqi Kurdistan. This premise was established in 2016 and it was triggered by the event of the abduction of the 39 Indian workers who disappeared from Mosul in 2014 in the hands of the Islamic State. The consulate is working alongside the Iraqi and Kurdish authorities to try to understand where these 39 Indians could be, if they are alive, if they are in Iraq, if they are in Mosul still perhaps alive underneath the rubble, or if they have been dispatched and sold to Syria.
Their families, mostly in Punjab, are still hoping for the best. They say hope is the last thing to die, but such a long silence is no good news and leaves space to the worst fears. Thousands of kilometers from Iraq, there are families missing their brothers, husbands and sons. Indians who left the country to build a future and earn some money to send back home. This story throws light on working conditions of Indian nationals in West Asia, a place where safety is not to be taken for granted.
The 39 Indian workers who got abducted in 2014 by the Islamic State were working in the construction sector, like many other Indian citizens do. There are 4 million Indian citizens across West Asia. Many of them are working in the construction sector, and unfortunately their story is notorious, but it is a sad one. They often get exploited, they don't get good salaries. In Kurdistan, for instance, if they are lucky, they get $500 a month for a very long working day. And if they are lucky and they can do some more hours, perhaps they can gather $100 or $200 more. So this is the story of the many Indian workers in West Asia, leaving everything behind, their families behind. And in the case of the 39 Indians, they were not able to return because the Islamic State conquered Mosul and they could not escape the terrorist organization. Daniele Pagani from Erbil for WION.
And Daniele Pagani is joining us live from Erbil now. Daniele, you have the unenviable task of telling our viewers, among them 39 families who are waiting for any word on their loved ones, that there isn't much headway in the search for those hostages. We know that the Indian minister has moved from Erbil to Baghdad and he's met some senior officials in the government. Does the Iraqi government have the bandwidth to allocate resources for something like this?
I definitely can say that the Iraqi government is trying to be as helpful as possible, but I'm also afraid that they do not have the bandwidth in these very moments to help constantly and invest all their energies in order to find these 39 people. Right now, the city of Mosul is facing an enormous humanitarian crisis. We're talking about a city which got immensely damaged by airstrikes. The western part is a pile of rubble, is completely battered. There are thousands of dead bodies underneath these rubbles. There are some, perhaps in thousands again, alive underneath the rubbles. Their families are looking for them, and the entire effort of the Iraqi government through the civil defense, through the Iraqi army, is to try to save their citizens. The war in Iraq since 2014 displaced more than 1 million people. So I do not doubt at all that the Iraqi government is willing to help the Indian government to find these citizens, but I very much doubt that they have, practically speaking, the energies. Today, I finally received a call from Mr. Miglani, who's the Consul General of India in Erbil, and he told me that the Iraqi institutions are being very cooperative, but they are also being very open in saying that it is a very difficult moment for the country. They will do as much as possible, but perhaps that won't be enough.
4 days since victory was declared, would you say that Mosul is free of ISIS? Are there still pockets of resistance? Has the very fact sunk in for people that the terrorists have gone? Are they beginning to rebuild their homes and their lives?
So the story of Mosul right now, it looks like the story of two different cities, the eastern part of the city and the western part of the city. The eastern part of the city is surprisingly back on track. I was traveling through the eastern part yesterday. It's very much alive. There are shops open. It's a place where I've been months ago. It was even unthinkable to approach that part. But the western part of the city tells another story. It's completely destroyed. The amount of airstrike was massive on that part, and still there are foreign fighters of the Islamic State barricaded in that place. Some of them are absolutely not harmful. They are starving and they are slowly surrendering. But there are also snipers, booby traps, IEDs. Yesterday, we were denied, not only us, many colleagues, but also humanitarian agencies, the access to the western part of the city because it was considered by the Iraqi counter-terrorism forces still dangerous. So this speaks volume about the meaning of liberating and winning. What I can say is that definitely the Islamic State does not control anymore the city militarily, but defining Mosul safe is absolutely incorrect. It is not, especially the western part of the city. Not at all.
All right, Daniele, stay safe. Thanks very much for sending us this report and joining us live this evening.